Hello everyone, welcome to Genesis Coaching Institute. I am Tapas Sharkar, your biology faculty. Today I am going to discuss set 2 paper of NEET examination 2022, and we will discuss both botany and zoology part, and we will try to find out the answers. I will give you the solutions. I will tell you why the particular option will be correct and why particular option will be wrong. So be with me. Let's start our video. So we will discuss section A. First of all, the section A, that is the botany part. So what is the question you see? So section A, botany, starts from question number 1. Question number 1 means 101. So question number 101, what is the question? Read the following statements about the vascular bundles. Read the following statements about the vascular bundles. 4 options are given. Option number A, in roots, xylem and phloem in a vascular bundle are arranged in an alternate manner along the different radii. Option number B, conjoint closed vascular bundles do not possess cambium. Option number C, in open vascular bundles, cambium is present in between xylem and phloem. Okay. Option number D, the vascular bundles of dicotyledonous stem possess endoprotoxylem. Yes, protoxylem. Okay. Option number E, in monocotyledonous root, usually there are more than 6 xylem bundles present. So you need to choose the correct answer. 4 options are given. 1, 2, 3. In option 1, A, B, C, D, E. Option number 2, A, B, C, D. Option number 3, A, C, D, E. And number 4, A, B, D. You see, these questions is not, you cannot choose the correct answer from the given options. So it will be a bonus, you will get the bonus ones. It is not clear here. Are you getting my point? We cannot find out the correct answer by following from these 4 options. Are you getting my point? So it will be a bonus point. Are you getting my point? All the students will get the marks if the question is not correct. Are you getting my point? Okay, let us go to the question number 102. So what is the question you see? Identify the correct set of statements. Option number A, the leaflets are modified into pointed hard thorns in citrus and bougainvillea. Okay. Number B, axillary buds from slender and spirally coiled tendrils in cucumber and pumpkin. This is correct. We know that in cucumber and pumpkin, the axillary bud will form the tendrils, and the tendrils will tendrils will be developed by the axillary bud for support. Okay, the climbers need support, and the axillary bud will develop the tendrils. They will get the support from the tendrils. So option number B is correct. Option number C, you need to find out the correct statements. Option number B, I have told you. Option number C, stem is flattened and fleshy in opuntia and modified to perform the function of leaves. Yes, it is correct. In opuntia, in some plants, for example, in opuntia, stem becomes flat, leaf-like structure and perform photosynthesis. So option number C will be correct. Number D, rhizophora shows vertically upward growing roots that help to get oxygen for respiration. Absolutely correct. We know that there are some plants where roots will be come out from the stem, come out from the soil, and they will come up vertically. For what purpose? For respiration. So option number C is also correct. B correct. C correct. Number D, rhizophora shows vertical. Okay. Number D is correct. Number C is correct. Number D is also correct. So B correct, C correct, D correct. Option number E, what is saying? Subarranging growing stems in grasses and strawberry helps in vegetative propagation. Absolutely correct. You see, there some plants will increase their number by vegetative propagation. So the stems which will be in air, subarranging, which will come out from the cells, subarranging, obviously in grasses and strawberry, it is used for vegetative propagation. So option number B is correct, C is correct, D is also correct, E is also correct, but remember option number A is wrong. Option number A, what is saying? The leaflets are modified into pointed hard thorns in citrus and bougainvillea. No. In bougainvillea and citrus, the thorns are modified stems. Thorns are developed from the modified stems. So option number A is wrong. B, C, D is correct. You need to choose the correct answer. 4 option is given. A, D only. So A, D is wrong. Number 2, B, C, D, E only. B, C, D, E only. Yes, B, C, D, E only. It is correct. Option number A is wrong. So answer will be option number 2. Option number 2 will be the correct answer. Are you getting my point? Okay, let us come to the question number 103. What is the question? The appearance of recombination nodules on homologous chromosome during meiosis characterizes. Okay, you know, during crossover between the 2 chromosomes. Suppose these are the chromosomes. Okay, so they will develop the recombination nodules with the help of the enzyme recombinase. For crossing over, the chromosome will develop What they will develop? They will develop recombination nodules so that the chromatids can attach. Are getting my point? So these recombination nodules will be formed by an enzyme recombinase, and in the place of the recombination nodule, where the recombination nodule is formed, there only the crossing over will take place. So option number, they are saying the appearance of recombination nodules on homologous chromosome during meiosis characterizes. What does it characterizes? Number A, isolated chromosome. Number 2, sign at which crossing over occurs. Number 3, terminalization. You know what is terminalization? When the chromatid of the chromosome will detach and they will form the shape like this. They will detach from the crossing over side. So this process is called the terminalization. But in the question, what they are asking? They are asking that the recombination nodule formation takes place, or it signifies which stage. So option number 3 is terminalization, it is wrong. Option number 4, synaptomental complex, it is also wrong. Synaptomental complex will be formed in the kinetochore region. The two bivalent chromosome will attach in this area. This area they will attach, but they will attach here by forming what? By forming synaptomental complex. Synaptomental complex. But they are asking about crossing over, recombination nodule. So we know that recombination nodule is chiefly produced for crossing over. So option number 2 they are given. Here it is given that site at which crossing over occurs. So answer will be option number 2. Okay. Now question number 104. See question number 104. What are they saying? Read the following statements and choose the set of correct statements. We need to choose the correct set of statements. Okay. Option number A, euchromatin is loosely packed chromatin. Euchromatin is loosely packed chromatin. Number B, heterochromatin is transcriptionally active. It is wrong. You know why? Because euchromatin is loosely packed chromatin. So euchromatin is transcriptionally active. Are you getting my point? Heterochromatin is transcriptionally not active. Heterochromatin is transcriptionally deactive. It is not transcriptionally functional. Transcriptionally function is euchromatin because it is loosely packed. So as euchromatin is loosely packed, so euchromatin is loosely packed. So it is light in color. It is light in color, and heterochromatin is densely packed. Heterochromatin is densely packed, and that's why it is dark in color. And remember, heterochromatin is transitionally reactive. It cannot perform transcription. Are getting my point? Option number B, they are saying that heterochromatin is transcriptionally reactive. It is wrong. Option number A is correct. Euchromatin is loosely packed chromatin. Option number C, histone octamer is wrapped by negatively charged DNA in nucleosome. Absolutely correct. DNA is a negatively charged. So DNA is a negatively charged. DNA will what you can say? DNA will wrap on what? Histone protein. Histone protein is what? Positive charge. DNA is what? Negative charge. DNA is what? Negative charge. Are you getting my point? So option number C is also correct. Option number D, histones are rich in lysine and arginine. Absolutely correct. Because histone protein are rich in lysine and arginine amino acid. You know, all of us know that histone protein is rich in arginine and lysine. It is given here in NCERT book very clearly. Option number E, a typical nucleosome contains 400 base pairs of DNA helix. It is wrong. Because a typical nucleosome, you see, this is the DNA negative charge, this is the histone protein. So DNA fragment will wrap here, and what? This region is known as what? This region is known as nucleosome. Nucleosome contains this DNA. How many base pairs will wrap here? It will be around 150 to 200 base pairs. But in the question, they are saying option number D, a typical nucleosome contains 400 base pairs, which is wrong. So you need to find out the correct statement. Option number 1, correct statement is A, C, D. A, C, D. E is wrong because what is E saying? Correct statement is A, C, D. What is wrong? Wrong is E and B. Acha, what is B saying? B is saying that heterochromatin is constitutionally active. I have told you heterochromatin is constitutionally active. So B is wrong. And E, what is saying that typical nucleosome contains 400 base pairs. It is also wrong because I have told you typical nucleosome has 150 to 200 base pairs. So correct answer will be A, C, D. 4 options are given. In option number 1, A, C, D options are given. Statements are given. The answer will be option number 1. Are you getting my point? Okay. Now question number 105. What is saying? In 105 it is saying, given below the two statements are given. Statement 1, the primary carbon dioxide receptor in C4 plant is phenol pyruvate and is found in the mesophyll cells. And statement 2, mesophyll cells of C4 plants lack Rubisco enzyme. In the light of the above statement, choose the correct statement. So statement 1 and statement 2. Statement 1, what is it saying? The primary carbon dioxide receptor in C4 plant is phenol pyruvate. Yes, it is correct. Because in C4 plants, who is the carbon dioxide receptor? In C4 plants, this is the mesophyll cell. Suppose this is the mesophyll cells. So in C4 plant, their mesophyll cell doesn't have Rubisco, lack Rubisco. They don't have Rubisco. What? They lack Rubisco. Rubisco or RUBB. So in C4 plant, their mesophyll cell contains PEP. PEP means phosphoenol pyruvate. Getting my point? So statement 1 is absolutely correct. In C3 plants, suppose this is the mesophyll cells. So their mesophyll cell contains RUBB. Getting my point? But in the C4 plants, their mesophyll cell contains PEP. But their bundle shape cells. In C4 plants, their bundle shape cells. In C4 plants, their bundle shape cells contain RUBB. So statement 1 is correct. That their mesophyll cell has PEP. It is correct. Statement 2. Mesophyll cells of C4 plants lack Rubisco enzyme. Absolutely correct. You see in C4 plant, why mesophyll cell contains RUBB? Because they lack Rubisco enzyme. In mesophyll cells of the C4 plant, they lack Rubisco enzyme. Because you see in C3 plants, of course the mesophyll cell has RUBB. RUBB will fix carbon dioxide. They will fix carbon dioxide. But to fix carbon dioxide, RUBB will fix carbon dioxide, and they will convert it into PGA, phosphoglyceric acid. And to convert RUBB to carbon dioxide into PGA, we need one enzyme. What is known as the Rubisco. In C3 plant, this happens. But in the C4 plants, as the mesophyll cells don't have Rubisco enzyme, that's why RUBB is not there. There is phosphoenol pyruvate, and the phosphoenol pyruvate will combine with the phosphoenol pyruvate, will take carbon dioxide, and they will convert it into oxaloacetic acid. Here also one enzyme is there, and that enzyme is known as peptase. So both the statements are correct. So answer will be option number 4. 104, option number 4. Now question number 106. In 106, what is the question? Identify the incorrect statement relating to pollination. Okay, you need to find out the incorrect statement. Option number 1, pollination by wind is more common against abiotic pollination. Okay, abiotic means wind, water. Okay, flowers produce foul odors to attract flies and beetles to get pollinated. Option number 3, moths and butterflies are the most dominant pollinating agents among insects. Option number 4, pollination by water is quite rare in flowering plants. So from the fourth statement we can say that option number 1, pollination by wind is more common amongst abiotic pollination. It is correct. You need to find out the incorrect statement. It is correct. Option number 2, flower produce foul odors. Yes, we know to attract the insects. So it is also correct. Option number 3, moths and butterflies are the most dominant pollinating agents. It is wrong. Because it is not moths and butterflies, there are some other insects which are the most dominating. Are you getting my point? So option number 3 is incorrect. Option number 4, pollination by water is quite rare. Obviously, pollination by water is quite rare because the plant used to release their egg and pollen in the water. Now it depends upon the water whether if the egg is there and the anther or whatever the antherizoids are here. Now it depends upon the plant whether it will carry that particular pollen grain into that antherizoid or not. So plant means probability of fusion is very less. So pollination by water is very less. So here it is saying the pollination by water is quite rare in flowering plants. Yes, it is correct. So option number 4 is correct, 1 is also correct, 2 is also correct. You need to find out the incorrect treatment. Moths and butterflies are the most dominant pollinating agent among insects. This is wrong. The answer will be option number 2. Now question number 7, 107. Which one of the following statement is not true regarding gel electrophoresis? So in gel electrophoresis, you need to find out which is not true. The separated DNA fragments are stained by using ethidium bromide. Option number 2. The presence of chromogenic substrate gives blue colored DNA bands on the gel. This is wrong. Because you see, when you will perform the gel electrophoresis, suppose these are the wings. We need to put your DNA here. We need to put our DNA in the wings. Okay. So now while applying the electric charge, when we will give electric charge, here is the agarose gel. Now when the DNA fragment will run through the agarose gel, are you getting my point? After that, we cannot see that whether the fragment has reached a particular place or not. For that purpose, we need to put one paper here, nylon paper, and while after putting the nylon paper here, all the DNA fragment will attach in the nylon paper. After that, this nylon paper will be shifted in one machine, that is known as an auto, will be passed through one process known as an autoradiography. But you see, when you put the DNA in the wings, you need to put one chemical there, and it is ethidium bromide. Ethidium bromide. When you put the ethidium bromide here, are you getting my point? You see, you cannot see whether the DNA fragment has run or not. You will not see anything. But you need to put the nylon paper, nitrocellulose paper here, and you need to take out the nitrocellulose paper. Now in this paper, all the DNA fragments are here. Now when you will pass it to the autoradiography, when you will keep under the autoradiography machine, UV radiation will fall here. UV radiation will fall on the particular paper, nitrocellulose paper. Are you getting my point? And when the UV radiation will react with the ethidium bromide chemical, this autoradiography machine is connected to the computer display. You can see the fragments as orange color. DNA fragments will appear in the orange color. You know who has given this orange color? Ethidium bromide. To see the DNA pattern, DNA fragment. To see the DNA fragments in the nitrocellulose paper, you need to add ethidium bromide. Ethidium bromide will give orange color when the UV radiation will fall. So option number A, what it is saying, the separated DNA fragments are stained by using ethidium bromide. Absolutely correct. Option number 2, the presence of chromogenic substance gives blue color DNA bands on the gel. No, it is orange color. So chromogenic substance means a substance which will provide color. So option number 2 is wrong because it is not blue, it is orange. Option number 3, bright orange colored bands of DNA can be observed in the gel when exposed to UV light. Of course it is correct. Option number 3. Option number 4, the process of extraction of separated DNA from the gel is called elution. Yes. When the separated DNA fragment is carried out from here by putting the nitrocellulose paper, it is known as elution. So option number 1 is correct, 2 is 3 correct, 4 correct. You need to find out the incorrect answer. So option number 2, that is they will give blue color. No, it is wrong. So option number 7 will be option number 2. Now question number 108. Habitat loss and fragmentation, overexploitation, alien species invasion, and co-extinction are causes for. These are all the causes for what? Option number A, competition? No. Competition is different thing. It is related to ecology, means related to interaction between species. What are they saying? Habitat loss, fragmentation, overexploitation of natural resources. So it will lead to what? It will lead to biodiversity loss. Option number 1 is competition. So it is not the correct answer. You need to find out the correct answer. Option number 2, biodiversity loss. Yes. So question number 108 will be option number 2, biodiversity loss. Option number 3 is given natality. Natality means birth rate. Option number 4, population expansion. No. If habitat loss is there, if fragmentation is there, it doesn't mean that population will grow. The population will decrease. No species can survive if the proper environment is not there. If the ecology is destroying, if the environment is destroying due to habitat loss, overexploitation of the natural resources, or fragmentation, or alien species invasion. So answer will be option number 2, biodiversity loss. Question number 109. Production of cucumber has increased manifold in recent years. Application of which of the following phytohormones has resulted in the increased yield of increase yield as the hormone is known to produce female flowers in the plants. You see, cucumber production has increased in manifold, increased a lot. The agriculturists have applied one plant growth regulator which will help in the plant in flowering. You see, a particular plant, cucumber plant, it flowers more, then obviously cucumber will grow more. So what is the plant growth regulator that the agriculturists or horticulturists have added to the plant or injected in the plant body so that flower can occur very frequently? So in option number 1, gibberellin, option number 2, ethylene, option number 3, cytokinin, option number 4, ABA. So answer will be option number 2, ethylene, because you see that means flowering has taken place in a very frequent manner. Now, which plant growth regulator will increase the flowering in plants? So it is ethylene. So gibberellin, what does gibberellin do? What is the function you see? Growth. Elongation, flower development. These are the functions of the gibberellin. Some of the functions. There are some other functions also gibberellin. Then abscisic acid, ABA. What is its function? Its function is abiotic stresses. It will protect the plant from abiotic stresses. It will provide the plant's defense mechanism. Next is cytokinin. So cytokinin is antagonist. Cytokinin is antagonist to auxin. Auxin will antagonist to apical dominance. Apical dominance means what? Auxin plant growth regulator will help in the plants to increase its shoot. Young plants used to increase its tip of the shoot and the tip of the root due to the presence of apical meristem, and the apical meristem has auxin. So this is known as apical dominance. When the plant will increase its length, apical dominance. But cytokinin will inhibit apical dominance, and cytokinin function is another function is cell division. Okay, and ethylene. So now we came to ethylene. Ethylene is flowering. Okay, it will help in the flowering, senescence. So cucumber plant increased a lot due to the increased rate of flowering. Which plant growth regulator has played a role here? It is ethylene. So option number 2 is the correct answer. Now question number 111. Question number 111. What is the question? Two statements are given. Clistogamous flowers are inherently autogamous. Clistogamous flower means closed flowers. And obviously, why they are closed? If the flower is closed, then they will go for self-fertilization. So obviously, clistogamous flowers are autogamous, self-autogamous. So statement 1 is correct. Statement 2. Clistogamous is advantageous as there is no chance for cross-pollination. Is it correct? Absolutely correct. Because clistogamous flower, as the flower is closed, so there is no chance of the cross-pollination because flower is closed. If pollen can come also, where it will fall? Stigma is inside the flower. So both the statement is correct. So answer will be option number 4. Both statement 1 and statement 2 are correct. Now question number 112. Hydrochloric kerosene is obtained from hydrochloric kerosene, red algae. So from the red algae, hydrochloric kerosene is produced. So what is the option? Option number 1 is given Phaeophyceae and Rhodophyceae. Rhodophyceae is red algae, but it is given Phaeophyceae also. So option number 1 is correct. Incorrect. Option number 2, Rhodophyceae only. It is correct. Option number 2, Rhodophyceae only means red algae. I have told you that red algae will give kerosene. So option number 2 is the correct answer. Rhodophyceae. Rhodophyceae means red algae. Option number 3 is given Phaeophyceae means brown algae. Incorrect. Option number 4, Rhodophyceae and Phaeophyceae. Rhodophyceae means green algae, Phaeophyceae means brown algae. No, these are not the correct answer. Correct answer is red algae, that is Rhodophyceae. Okay, now question number 113. Girdling experiment was performed by plant physiologists to identify the plant tissue through which, you see, what is girdling experiment? In girdling experiment, suppose this is the stem, the bark of the stem removed by cutting in a cyclic manner. That means the bark of the stem is cut. Okay, the external portion of the plant, the bark of the area or the external portion of the stem is cut, and it is observed that xylem is performing its function. Xylem is performing its function. That is to carry. What is the xylem function? To carry water from the soil and minerals from the soil. So xylem is performing its function for phloem. Phloem. What is the function of phloem? The function of phloem is to carry the food from the leaves to the different parts of the plant. So phloem function is not carried out. If you cut, it has been observed by the girdling experiment that while cutting the external part of the bark region of the stem, xylem function is not, what you can say, it is not xylem function is not varying, but the phloem function is invariably terminate, means what you can say, interrupted. Xylem can perform its function, that means xylem after cutting also xylem will perform its function, but phloem cannot. So this is the girdling experiment. So girdling experiment is performed by plant physiologists to identify the plant tissue through which food is transported. Option number 1, food is transported. Option number 2, for both water and food transportation. For C, osmosis is observed. Option number 4, water is transported. No, option number 4 is wrong. Water is not. What we have observed? We have observed that food is not transported. Either the food will transport or not, that one we need to see. So option number 1 is saying food is transported. Girdling experiment, girdling experiment was performed to see if food is transported or not, and it has been seen food is not transported. So option number 1 is correct. Are you getting my point? Option number 2 is saying both water and food transportation. No, because it has been observed that xylem is performing its function. So water transportation is going on. Option number 3, osmosis is observed. Osmosis is what? That means the transportation is transportation of water. So option number 1 is the right answer. Now, question number 114. Which of the following is incorrectly matched? Ulothrix meniton. Which of the following is incorrectly matched? So you see, Ulothrix meniton, Porphyra, Clodidine starch. Option number 3 is given. Volvox starch. Option number 4, Ectocarpus fucoxanthin. So you need to find out the incorrect match. Ulothrix, what are they saying? Meniton. You know that Ulothrix comes under chlorophycin. Chlorophycin means green algae. So what is the stored food of green algae? It is a starch. So this is wrong. What in the option they are given the name of the species and the stored food. Ulothrix will fall under chlorophycin, and it falls under chlorophycin means it is a green algae. Stored food is starch. But getting my point. So what are they given? Then Ulothrix is stored food is meniton. No, it is wrong. Acha, option number 2, Porphyra. Porphyra is red algae. Porphyra will fall under red algae. The stored food of red algae is Clodidine starch, which is correct. Volvox is a chlorophycin. That means green algae. Volvox is a green algae. Stored food of green algae is what? Stored food of green algae is starch, which is correct. You need to find out the incorrect statement. Option number 4, Ectocarpus. Ectocarpus is Phaeophycin. Phaeophycin means brown algae, and stored food of brown algae is what? Stored food of brown algae is fucoxanthin, which is absolutely correct. You need to find out the incorrect statement. Option number 1. 104. Answer will be option number 1. Now 115. DNA polymorphism, that is the types of DNA types. So DNA polymorphism from the basis of what? Different types of DNA are the basis of what? DNA fingerprinting. We have already discussed. Okay, that in human genome project and in the DNA fingerprinting, what we came to know that I am different from you. 99.9% is similar between you and me. What is the difference? 0.1% only difference is there, and that 0.1% of sequence, okay, that means 0.1% of the sequence of my DNA is different from your sequence of DNA, 0.1%. So that 0.1%, that means your 0.1% of DNA is different, my 0.1% is different. So this is another different of DNA, that means polymorphism. So this 0.1% of the DNA will be used for DNA fingerprinting, because even we are saying, so in DNA fingerprinting, what is analyzed? That particular difference. So answer will be option number 1, it is given DNA fingerprinting, but wait, option number B2 is given both genetic mapping and DNA fingerprinting. Option number 3, translation means protein formation, is absolutely wrong. Option number 4, genetic mapping. So correct answer will be option number 2, both genetic mapping and DNA fingerprinting. Human Genome Project Human Genome Project also we came to know about genetic mapping. One species is different from another species due to some base pairs in between them. So it is also the genetic mapping. If you find out the sequences, what are the differences in the sequence of particular species, it is also the genetic mapping. So this DNA polymorphism, this difference is used in DNA fingerprinting and genetic mapping. So answer will be option number 2. 115 will be option number 2. Now 116. So it is given this 1 and this 2. Option number A, manganese. Let me write here. So you see manganese, magnesium, boron, iron. Here it is given activates the enzyme catalase, activates the enzyme catalase. In magnesium it is given, can you see it? Yes. In magnesium it is given required for pollen germination. Boron, it is given activates enzymes for respiration. Iron is given its functions in splitting of water during, of course we know splitting of water occurs during photosynthesis. Now you need to match. 4 options are given, you need to match about the correctly you need to match. So answer will be, you see, manganese. Manganese is used for manganese activates the enzyme. Okay, wait a second. It's too hot here, then that's why I need to clear my face. It's full of sweat. Okay, so you see, manganese is used for splitting of water. A, B, C, D. What is the function of manganese? It is given that activates the enzyme catalase. You need to fix up. So manganese is used for functions in splitting of water. So here it will be A. Manganese will be used for the splitting of water during photosynthesis. Magnesium is used for respiration. It activates enzyme for respiration. And number C, boron. Boron is used for pollination. Pollen germination of the stigma. Okay. If you take in a slide, we have performed the experiment. No. Okay. So in the stigma, the pollen grain will fall, and from the germ core, the pollen grain will form a tube, and it will go inside. So the formation of the pollen tube and the germination of the pollen grain will take place will be helped by the boron. And iron will be activates the enzyme catalase. So here it is given the 1, 2, 3, 4 options are given, which will be the correct matching. Answer will be option number 1. 116 will be option number 1. 117. The process of translation of mRNA protein begins as soon as when the translation will start. Number 1, the larger subunit of ribosome encounters mRNA. Is it correct? No. Because suppose this is the DNA. Now DNA will form mRNA. This is the mRNA. What is the process? Process is a transcription. Process is transcription. And from the mRNA, this is the protein. The protein will be there. The protein will be produced. This process is translation. So they are saying, but this translation process will take place. Protein will be formed when in the mRNA. First of all, ribosome is needed. We know ribosome is the protein factory. So ribosome is 2 units, smaller unit, larger unit. The smaller unit of the ribosome will bind first. Then the larger unit will bind. For the translation process, no. For the transcription process, for the formation of protein, smaller unit of the ribosome will attach to the mRNA, and it will form polysome. When the many ribosome will attach to the mRNA, it is form what? It will form polysome. So they are saying the larger unit will attach to the mRNA. This is wrong. Option number 1 is wrong. Option number 2. Both the subunits join together to bind the mRNA. No. Only any one. First of all, which will come? Smaller one. Okay. You see, this is the smaller one. This is the larger one. They remain separated most of the time. But during protein synthesis, they will join. But first of all, the smaller unit will come. Then the larger unit will come. And their joining will be helped by magnesium. 0.01 molar magnesium is needed. 0.01 molar of magnesium is needed for the joining of both the subunits of the ribosomes. Option number 3, the tRNA is activated in the larger subunit of ribosome expressed in mRNA. No, we know the smaller. Option number 4, the smaller subunit of ribosome encounters mRNA. Yes, it is correct. In the mRNA, first of all, the smaller subunit will come. So option number 4 is the correct answer. 170. In question number 170, option 4 will be the correct answer. Now question number 180. The device which can remove particulate matter present in the exhaust from a thermal power plant is big industry. They release very toxic gases. So if in a chimney, if you fit some kind of device which will make the dirty air clean, and they will release only the pure air, not the dirty air. So what are the things that can be fixed in a chimney? Is it option number 1, incinerator? No, it is wrong, because incinerator is used in hospitals. Option number 2, electrostatic precipitator. Okay. Option number 6, catalytic converter. Catalytic converter is used in automobiles. Automobile exhaust. In automobile exhaust, catalytic converter is used. Highly expensive metals are used there. Palladium, rubidium. These are expensive materials to be used in the electricity precipitator. STP, no. STP is a secondary treatment. Okay, plant. Secondary is plant. So option number 1, incinerator, is wrong. Option number 2 is correct. Electricity precipitator. Electricity precipitator, if we fixed in a big industrial chimneys, then they will not release the dirty air. They will clean the air. After filtering the air, they will release the pure air. So answer will be option number 2. 118. Question number 118, answer will be option number 2. Now question number 119. Now question number 119. What is the question? The flowers are zygomorphic and actinomorphic. You see, the flowers are zygomorphic in option number 1. You need to find out the zygomorphic. Option number A is given mustard. Option number B is given Gulmohar. Option number C is given Cassia. D Datura. E Chili. So zygomorphic plant will be Gulmohar and Cassia. Answer will be B and C. So answer will be option number 1. B and C. Mustard is actinomorphic. Datura is also actinomorphic. Wait. Datura is also actinomorphic. You see, in actinomorphic plants you will find mustard, chili, datura, all are the actinomorphic plants. Okay, tomato, these are all the actinomorphic plants. So from the option you need to find out the zygomorphic. So this is actinomorphic, this is actinomorphic, this is actinomorphic, these two are the zygomorphic. Answer will be B and C. That is option number 1. Question number 120. Question number 120. Given following the two statements are given. So we need to see assertion and reasoning. The statement is given and reason is also given. We need to find out whether the reason is correct or wrong. Assertion: polymerase chain reaction is used in DNA amplification. Absolutely correct. Polymerase chain reaction is used in DNA amplification. The reason is the ampicillin resistant gene is used as a selectable marker to check transformation. This is the reason. The reason is so that experiments, while performing the experiments in a laboratory, if you take a foreign DNA, that foreign DNA can be lost, or that foreign DNA can get destroyed, or if we use it one time, for the second time again we need to cut, we need to take out the foreign DNA from the specific species, which is a time consuming. Okay, that foreign DNA again we need to take out from our desirable species, so it's a time consuming process. So if we take any foreign DNA from one copy, we can create billions of copies. This is the reason of the polymerase chain reaction. Getting my point? And to see the sequences very nicely. So this is not the reason. So statement 1 is correct, assertion is correct, but reason is wrong. So option will be option number 1. Option number A is correct, but reason is not correct. What is the reason? Ampicillin resistant gene is used as a selectable marker. Absolutely correct. You see, this is the plasmid. If this is the plasmid PBR322, plasmid. So it has many resistant gene, ampicillin resistant gene, it is tetracycline resistant gene, ampicillin resistant gene, codon phenyl resistant gene. So plasmid has resistant genes, and it will help in the selectable marker. Okay, but this is correct. Statement 2 is correct, but this is not the reason for polymerase chain reaction. Are you getting my point? So answer will be option number 1. That is, both assertion and reason are correct, but reason is not the correct explanation of A. 121. Question number 121. Which one of the following statements cannot be connected to predation? Predation means predator. Relation between the predator and prey. Predator and prey, like deer and tiger. It might lead to extinction of a species. Predation leads to extinction of a species. It may. You need to find out the incorrect statement. Question number 2. Both the interacting species are negatively impacted. How negatively impacted? If tiger attacked deer, then tiger is benefited. Deer is negatively infected. Deer is gone. Deer is dead. Loss of deer. So negatively affected is deer, but positively affected is tiger. Tiger has get the food. So option number 2 is wrong. You need to find out the incorrect statement. So option number 21 is the question number 121 is the option number 2. What is option number 3? It is necessitated by nature to maintain the ecological balance. Yes, predation should be there. Predation should be there to maintain the balance between the species number. If tiger doesn't eat deer, it may happen that deer population may get increased. If deer population get increased, then grass population will get decreased. Deer eats grass and plants. So to maintain the ecological balance, predation is necessary. Option number 4, it helps to maintain species diversity in a community. Yes, every species get an equal opportunity to survive in this manner. Are you getting my point? If there is no tiger, then the deer population will increase. If deer population increase, then he will finish up all the grass and all the trees. Then what the sheep will eat, what the cow will eat. As a result, cow and sheep will be eliminated. So every species should be allowed to live in this world in a very balanced manner. So option number 1 is correct. Option number 3 is also correct. Option number 4 is also correct. Option number 1 is saying that predation may lead to extinction of a species. If the predation is more, if the tiger population is more in a particular forest, then there will be no deer. All the deer will be extinct. All the deer will be eaten by the tiger. So predation will lead to extinction. Yes, option number 1 is correct. Option number 4 is also correct because it's saying that it helps in maintaining species diversity. Every species, sheep also can eat grass, cow also can eat grass. Are you getting my point? Every species are allowed to live, and this is only because of predation. One of the factors, predation. But option number 2 is not correct. It is saying that both the hunter, both the predator and the prey, both are negatively affected. No. Prey is negatively affected, but the predator is positively affected. He is getting the nutrition. So answer the option number 1. Question number 122. Which one of the following never occurs during mitotic cell division? During mitotic cell division, which one never occurs? Option number 1. Movement of centrioles towards opposite poles. It happens. It happens during prophase. This is the nucleus. This is the centrioles. So during prophase, the centriole moves. Yes, it is correct. Option number 1 is correct. Option number 2. pairing of homologous chromosome, this is wrong because homologous chromosome pair occurs in meiosis. Pairing of homologous chromosome, that means the formation of the bivalent chromosomes. That means the formation of the bivalent chromosome, 2 chromosomes and 4 chromosomes. Pairing of the homologous chromosome occurs in meiosis, not in mitosis. So you need to find out the incorrect statement. Option number 2. Question number 122. Answer will be option number 2. Option number 3. Coiling and condensation of the chromatin. Yes, it is correct. In porphyries, the chromatin fibers are thin thread-like structures. Thin thread-like structure, but gradually it will become thick. It will be fragmented and it will form chromosomes. Getting my point? So coiling occurs. Okay. Option number 3 is also correct. Option number 4. Spindle fiber attached to kinetochore of chromosome. Absolutely correct. When the chromosome will be scattered in the cytoplasm. So these are the chromosomes scattered in the cytoplasm. So this is the centriole which will form spindle fibers, and the spindle fiber will attach where? This is a chromosome. Spindle fiber will attach where? This is the centromere. In the centromere there is one disc-like structure which is the kinetochore. The spindle fiber will attach in the kinetochore region of the chromosome. So option number 4 is also correct. But option number 2, that is pairing of homologous chromosome, it is wrong. So answer will be option number 2. Question number 122. Which of the following is not method of ex situ conservation? Ex situ conservation means conservation will be done not in the home place. Conservation will be done in the outside home of any organism. Suppose forest is a home of wild animals. Suppose tiger, but the tiger will be protected not in the forest, not in his wild area, wild state, not in the forest, not in his home. Tiger will be taken up to the zoo and it will be protected there. So this is the ex situ conservation. Like Kaziranga National Park. So this particular forest area, it is conserved. In that particular forest, what is found? One rhinoceros. So if this whole forest will be conserved, because in this forest rhinoceros are there. So rhinoceros are living there since very long time. So these originated rhinoceros used to stay there only. But what we have done? We have provided protection in their home. So this is in situ conservation. Now in the question they are asking, from the following options you need to find out which is not an ex situ conservation. Ex situ conservation means I have told you protection outside their home. Option number 1, National Park, Kaziranga National Park. It is an in situ conservation. So answer will be option number 1. Question number 123, answer will be option number 1 because National Park is an in situ conservation. Question number 2, micropropagation, ex situ conservation. In the laboratory you will do the micropropagation. Question number 3, chiral preservation. Chiral preservation, that means the preservation of seed or sperms or ovum or anything in a laboratory. Liquid nitrogen. Chiral preservation means we will store the seed of plant, pollen grain of plant or sperm or ovum in a liquid nitrogen. And what is the temperature? -196 degrees Celsius. So this is the temperature. We will do in a laboratory, no? So this is an ex situ conservation. Question number 4, in vitro fertilization. Obviously, in vitro fertilization. In laboratory, sperm and ova will be fertilized artificially. Ex situ conservation. In situ conservation is National Park. Question number 121. Question number 124. So question number 124. Given below are two statements. Mendel studied 7 pair of contrast. Statement 1. Mendel studied 7 pair of contrasting characters in sea plants and proposed a law of inheritance. It is correct. Absolutely correct. 7 characters. Mendel has studied in the principle of law of inheritance chapter. Principle of inheritance and variation. In this chapter we came to know Mendel, father of genetics, has performed his experiment on, and he has performed his experiment on 7 contrasting characters. And what are the characters? Statement 2. It is saying 7 characters examined by Mendel in this experiment on pea plants were seed shape and color, food color, pod shape and color, flower position and stem height. These are the 7 characters. Are these correct? Yes, these are correct. Mendel has performed his experiment on pea plant on these 7 characters. What are the 7 characters? Flower position, stem height, flower color, pod shape, seed shape and color. So both statement 1 and statement 2 is correct. So answer will be option number 4. Now question number 124. Which one of the following does not show plasticity? Plasticity. What is the option given? Option number A, coriander. Option number B, buttercup. Option number C, just wait a second. Option number C, maize. Option number D, cotton. First of all, you need to know what is plasticity. You see, plasticity is the mechanism of a plant to show any response to a particular environment. So, plasticity is adaptability of an organism to changes in its environment. Adaptability of an organism to show, to change in response to its environment. In response to its environment. So this is plasticity. That means a plant leaf will show changes. Plant leaf will show changes according to the environment. It will changes its shape or structure of the leaf according to the environment or habitat. So this is known as plasticity. Is it visible? So okay. I think now you can see. So adaptability of an organism to change in response to its environment or habitat. This is plasticity. So among the four options which do not show plasticity. Okay. So answer will be coriander. Coriander means dhania. Yes, it will show, but maize will not show. Answer will be option number 3. Maize will not show. Cotton will show plasticity. Okay. Coriander will show, but buttercup also will show, but maize will not show. Question number 126. What amount of energy is released from glucose during lactic acid fermentation? Very less amount of energy. Lactic acid fermentation, anaerobic respiration. When we don't get enough sufficient oxygen, when the production of energy will take place in the absence of oxygen in our muscle cells, skeletal muscles. Very small amount of energy will be released, but along with that, one more toxic acid will be released, that is a lactic acid, and they are asking the what amount of energy will be released. Option number 1, more than 18%. Option number 2, about 10%. Option number 6, less than 7%. Option number 4, approximately 15%. Answer will be less than 7%. So 126, option number 2. During lactic acid during the energy production in skeletal muscles, aerobic respiration in case of animals, very less amount of energy will be produced, less than 7%. Next. Question number 127. The gaseous plant growth regulator is used in plants. The gaseous plant growth regulator. What is the gaseous plant growth regulator? Ethylene. Ethylene is used for what purpose? Option number 1. Promote root growth and root hair formation to increase the absorption surface. Yes. It is correct. Ethylene is a gaseous plant growth regulator and it is used to increase the root hairs. And root hairs, you know why the root forms root hairs. Root forms root hairs. Why they form? So that absorption of water and mineral. Can increase. Absorption of water and mineral can increase. That's why the root will develop root hairs. And who will help in that development of root hairs and root? It is an ethylene. So option number 1. Because ethylene is a gaseous. Option number 2 is saying that help overcome apical dominance. Help overcome apical dominance. It is done by the cytokinin. I have told you. So option number 2 is wrong. They are saying that plant growth regulator used in plants, the gaseous, ethylene. The gaseous plant growth regulator is what? Cytokinin? No, it is the ethylene. And what is its function? Many functions are there for ripening of foods. And another function is to increase the root and root hairs for absorption, to increase the absorptive surface area. Option number 3, kill dicotyledonous weeds in the fields. Who will kill the dicotyledonous weeds? It is auxin. It is auxin which will kill the dicotyledonous weeds. And help overcome apical dominance. No, overcome apical dominance, I told you it is cytokinin. Option number 4, speed up the molting process. Who will speed up the molting process? It is gibberellin. Gibberellin will help in molting process. Always remember. Gibberellin will help in molting process. So answer will be option number 1, ethylene, gaseous. That is promote root growth and root hair formation. Okay, now question number 128. Question number 128. Which of the following is not observed during apoplastic pathway? Apoplastic pathway and symplastic pathway means what? You see, in endodermal cell of the root, suppose this is the root, endodermal cell. In endodermal cells of root, so suppose this is the root, this is cells, these are the cells. So this is the cell walls. This is the cell walls and this is the cytoplasm. This is the plasmodesma. So this is the cell wall. This is the cell wall. This is the cytoplasm. And this is the plasmodesma. Plasmodesmata. So apoplast pathway. That means the movement of water. Root will absorb the water from the root, and the water will go inside the root cells only to the cell walls. Only to the cell walls. The water will not go to the cytoplasm. So this is the apoplastic pathway. Apoplast pathway. If the water goes from inside cytoplasm or plasmodesmata, then it is known as symplast pathway. If the water goes inside the cytoplasm, then it is known as symplast pathway. Symplast. What are they asking? They are asking 4 options are given. You need to find out which one is incorrect for apoplast. Option number 1, the movement does not involve crossing of cell membrane. It is correct. You need to find out the incorrect statement. Because the movement of water will take place only through the cell wall. So they are saying, option number 1 is saying that through the cell wall movement. So it is correct. Option number 2, the movement is aided by cytoplasmic stream. So this is wrong, because through the cytoplasm, the water will move in the symplast pathway, not in the apoplast pathway. So you need to find out the incorrect statement. I have told you. Answer will be option number 2. Option number 3, apoplast is continuous and does not produce any barrier to water movement. Correct? Option number 4, movement of water occurs through intercellular space and walls of the cells. Correct? In apoplast pathway, the water will move to the cell walls and another thing, and intercellular spaces. I think you know what is intercellular spaces. Between two cells, this space is intercellular spaces. Now question number 129. Which one of the following is not true regarding the release of energy during ATP synthesis through chemiosmosis? So in chemiosmosis, what happens? In chemiosmosis, what happens? You see, this is a thylakoid membrane. This is a thylakoid membrane. Okay? In thylakoid membrane, we will find photosystem 2 here. Photosystem 2. This is the water. Is it visible? Yes, I think it's visible. Water will be split into hydrogen, oxygen, and electron. This is the cytochrome. Is it visible? Yes. So you see, in thylakoid membrane, what happens? Water will be split up, and in the photosystem 2, water will be split up in hydrogen, oxygen, and electron. This electron will go inside the photosystem 2, and from the photosystem 2, it will go in the. This is a electron transport chain. In electron transport chain, you will find very complex protein. For example, cytochrome. This is cytochrome. Here will be the plastocyanin. Here will be the plastocyanin. It is given in the example very nicely. Here will be the plastocyanin. This is the photosystem 1. Okay. So 706 photosystem 2 and photosystem 1. So this electron will be accepted by the photosystem 2. Sunlight will fall. It will get excited. It will go here. And this is the plastocyanin. This is what? This is plastocyanin. So all these are what? All these are. Is it visible? Yes. So all these are electron transporting complex proteins. So the electron will go photosystem 2, then it will go to the plastocyanin. The plastocyanin has two functions. If this is a thalapod membrane, this is what? This is a stroma. From the stroma, it will take hydrogen. Plastocyst will take hydrogen and it will also take electron. So as a result, again from the plastocyst, from the plastocyst, the electron will go to the cytochrome BC. It is also a complex protein of electron transport chain. So in the cytochrome BC, from here it will go to plastocyanin, and from plastocyanin it will go to photoreceptor 1. But you see, all the hydrogen during splitting of the water, the hydrogen will get accumulated. Only the electron will go and the oxygen will be liberated. So hydrogen will keep on accumulating here. As a result, the hydrogen concentration inside the lumen of this is the lumen. This is the lumen of thalapod membrane. So this is the lumen of thalapod membrane. So in the thalapod membrane, in the lumen of the thalapod membrane, the concentration of hydrogen will keep on increasing because if the plastocyst will also absorb the hydrogen and it will give hydrogen. Plastocyst will also release hydrogen here. Plastocyst will also release hydrogen here, and from the water hydrogen is keep on accumulating here. As a result, the hydrogen concentration inside the lumen of thalapod membrane will keep on increasing, and in the stroma, the hydrogen concentration will be low because it is going inside the thalapod lumen. As a result, what will happen when the electron will go from photoreceptor 2 to plastocyst, and when it will reach the cytochrome C, energy will be released here. When the energy will be released here, as a result, this hydrogen will try to come out. This hydrogen will come out. Otherwise, the thalapod membrane will break. So, another thing to keep on mind that this accumulation of the hydrogen membrane inside the lumen of the thalapod membrane, hydrogen concentration is more, and outside the thalapod membrane in the stroma, hydrogen concentration is low. As a result, it will create one proton gradient. This is proton gradient. And when the energy will be released in the cytochrome C, now the hydrogen will try to come out. Now when the hydrogen will try to come out, it will come out from this area. And this area is known as this area. If I go here, this area. So when the hydrogen will come out from here, one ADP will combine with inorganic phosphate and it will give ATP. Is it visible? Wait. So when the hydrogen will try to come out from here, okay, so as a result, it has this is known as the F0 of F1 complex. This is known as F0 F1 complex. When the hydrogen will come out, as a result from here, ATP will combine with inorganic phosphate and it will give one ATP. And when the hydrogen will come here, this is a F0, this is F0 and this is F1. So when the hydrogen will come in the F4, this F4 will rotate. It will rotate. As a result, configuration of F1 will change. As a result, the hydrogen will come out and one ATP will combine with the inorganic phosphate and they will keep on heating. So ATP formation has taken place due to hydrogen proton gradient. Proton means hydrogen. Due to the gradient created by the hydrogen only, all this process has taken place. If this gradient has not taken place, then what would happen? ATP will not be produced. अगर यहाँ पे ज़्यादा नहीं होता, then the hydrogen will not have come out from the F4 and F1. As a result, ATP will not combine with inorganic phosphate and you would not have kept the ATP. Okay, this hydrogen there is released in the stroma. This hydrogen will be taken up by the plastocyst. Are you getting my point? This plastocyst, when the water will be splitted up, oxygen will be liberated, electron will go inside photoreceptor 2. So this electron will go from here to plastocyst, from plastocyst to here. But the plastocyst will also take hydrogen. From where the hydrogen it is taking? From the stroma. Stroma में hydrogen कहाँ से आया? ये hydrogen जो अंदर से निकल के आया वही hydrogen बोलेंगे. So what is the question they are asking? Which one of the following is not true? Regarding the release of energy during ATP synthesis during chemiosmosis. So this process is chemiosmosis, and in chemiosmosis, 4 options are given, which is not true. Breakdown of electron gradient. दिस इज फॉल्स। ब्रेकडाउन ऑफ इलेक्ट्रॉन ग्रेडियंट नहीं होता। ब्रेकडाउन ऑफ व्हाट? ब्रेकडाउन ऑफ प्रोटॉन ग्रेडियंट। एक प्रोटॉन ग्रेडियंट क्रिएट होता है, प्रोटॉन ग्रेडियंट इज क्रिएटेड हियर एंड व्हेन द हाइड्रोजन विल कम आउट द प्रोटॉन ग्रेडियंट विल बी ब्रोकन। ग्रेडियंट तो टूट गया क्योंकि हाइड्रोजन बाहर आ गया, तो प्रोटॉन ग्रेडियंट टूटने के कारण एक एटीपी हमें मिला। तो आंसर विल बी व्हाट? आंसर विल बी you need to find out the incorrect option. The answer will be option number 1, breakdown of electron gradient. Option number 2 is movement of proton across the membrane to stroma. It is correct. केमियोस्मोटिक की जो प्रोसेस है उसमें से हाइड्रोजन क्या होता है? स्ट्रोमा से थैलेमो मेम्ब्रेन क्रॉस करके अंदर आता है कि नहीं? आता है। ऑप्शन नंबर 3, रिडक्शन ऑफ NADP to NADP on the stroma side of the membrane. बिल्कुल सही है। ये जो इलेक्ट्रॉन, दिस इलेक्ट्रॉन from protostem 2 will go to plasmocyanin, then cytochrome C, then there प्लास्टोसियानिन, then here, so this is protostem 1 और इस protostem 1 में क्या है? FNR, FD, यहाँ पे है FD, then FNR, is it visible? Yes. FNR, then FD. At last में यहाँ पे क्या है? protostem 1. So this is the protostem 1. protostem 1 यहाँ पे क्या है? FD, फेरोक्सिन, FNR और यहाँ पे क्या है? यहाँ पे तुम्हारा NAD और ये हाइड्रोजन जब यहाँ पे जब चला जाता है तब क्या बन जाता है? हाइड्रोजन को लेके NADPH2 ये फॉर्म होता है। समझ में आया? आई होप यू हैव अंडरस्टूड। क्वेश्चन नंबर 4, ब्रेकडाउन ऑफ प्रोटॉन ग्रेडियंट, करेक्ट। तो you need to find out the incorrect answer. Option will be breakdown of electron gradient. Now question number 130. Question number 130. Which of the following plant shows vexillary estivation and didelphous stamens? Didelphous stamens means stamens are arranged in 2 bundles. Stamens are arranged in 2 bundles. Didelphous stamens are arranged in 2 bundles. And again, what are the same? The estivation will be vexillary. So answer will be option is Pisum sativa. Number A.